everybody. Welcome to another episode of First and Last. My name is Josh, and with me today, I have Joe.
Hey, man.
And Claire.
Okay, I'll be outside in a second.
Do we get... Is it a thing now that we just get our food the minute we start recording?
Must be a thing.
The guy's like, it's going to be an hour, and then they take 20 minutes. It's like impressive,
I
really.
think we have been sitting around, maybe just been chatting about
There's no way we've been sitting around that long.
We've been sitting around.
Right? Well,
We had to set up all these mics.
Yeah.
We're busy people.
I guess we did some stuff. Well, Jimmy's gone. He's murdering whales again.
Yeah, he even texted and admitted it this time, which I thought was strange. I was like, dude.
No, he said, I don't know, I'm killing or saving whales or something like that. He's like, pick one. I don't care.
You don't get to kill him.
You shouldn't kill whales.
Well, but then he said he was, so.
Bad Jimmy. Bad Jimmy.
It doesn't make anybody feel better when you tell them that they're bad.
Well.
How is that a thing that we do as a society? Like,
if you're
bad.
If you're a whale murderer, you're a bad Jimmy.
I mean, nobody needs to tell you. You know you're a terrible person.
Some people don't care.
You just get that, like, you are smiling so much about being able to be like bad. Like, you just like
bad
telling people
Jimmy.
they're bad.
Hey, Claire.
What's up?
How does this podcast work that Joe's getting our food?
Okay, so let me see if I can do this as well as Joe does. It's not possible. You watch the first episode of a TV show. You talk about it. You make some predictions. You watch the last episode in the last season of the same TV show.
Sounds about right.
You talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You see if your predictions are right. You discuss if it's the best show ever, the worst, and you do that. Am I right, Joe?
Yep.
Yeah,
I did it right.
Nailed it.
Hey,
Nailed
man.
it. We're doing, so the show we're doing today is called Fleabag.
Yeah.
And we've done some research. It ended in May of this year.
Fresh. This is
The
a
year of
fresh
year of
end.
our Lord 2019.
Well, I think technically it ended in April because where originally was aired.
Oh,
So let's be picky.
okay, sure. We can be picky.
We can be British or something.
We looked it up a lot. It sounds like people really loved this show and people really, really want a season 3, but it seems like the show was done.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going with it. If for some reason they throw up a season 3, I guess we'll have to do a Fleabag revisited.
Ooh.
But until then, it's over. So we're going with it right now.
And everybody tells me to watch this show.
All right. So we are. We're gonna watch it.
Yeah. Otherwise, I know nothing about it.
I was gonna read one sentence about it just so we can kind of get started in the talk because I had never heard of this show until you said it 40 minutes ago to me.
Well, I read an article and it was like, everybody's getting the Fleabag haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fleabag is a comedy series adapted from the award-winning play about a young woman trying to cope with life in London whilst coming to terms with a recent tragedy.
Ooh, what's the tragedy?
That's what we've got to figure out.
I know.
I kind of assume they're going to talk about it
In episode
in
1?
episode 1, right?
Yeah.
Or at least allude to it.
When did this start?
When did it start? When did it start?
'Cause I don't think the seasons
such a
were
good
like
question.
connected.
Episode 1, according to this, aired September 16th, 2016.
So there's like a gap between season 1 and season 2.
3 years, yeah. Because then season 2 was it started May 17th, 2019, and it ended. Oh, well, it says they're all May 17th because it was just pooped out onto Amazon Prime.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there was some article I read about it being like April something in the end of it. I'll Google it again.
Okay. Well, just like, because it's a UK show?
Yeah.
Is it a BBC?
It's a BBC. It started on BBC 2, then it got pushed to BBC 1. I don't really know what that means, but I assume that 1 is better than 2. So, must be popular?
Must be popular.
Um,
I'm going to go with recent tragedy, severe illness.
I think that someone's
Like
died.
she was sick?
Yeah. Like she's sick.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Main character, severe illness.
So Claire, you think she died?
No, she didn't die. Somebody died. Someone close to her died.
So you're thinking death in Family Friends.
Tragedy. So, yeah. Like, oh, yeah. There's death.
There's death. Mine's death is looming.
Her cat
worse.
died. That's the Fleabag.
Ah, okay.
Her dead cat.
Her dead cat. She gets it taxidermed.
Mm-hmm.
What do you? I mean, is this like a day to? What do we think? Day to day? What's happening in this show?
And
She's in
how-
London?
Yeah.
London.
It does the name Fleabag, is that like something you call something, like you're a Fleabag, or like is that like, is it a bag that carries flea? Like, is this a thing? Is this a title of anything to do with the show?
I hope it has something to do with the show.
I don't know British shit, man.
I think it's a dead cat.
You think it's a dead cat? Terrible tragedy, loss.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if you've known it's been your cat since day one. It's like 17 years old or something like that. That's a pretty solid tragedy.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
I feel like, is that enough to write a TV show about?
If it's funny.
I'm sure that whatever the tragedy is, it doesn't really play much into what the show's about. It's just kind of the inciting incident to send her off to London.
I feel like this is going to be a family show. Like, there's going to be family fucked up shit.
Okay.
Excuse my French. I just cursed a lot.
Most of those were English words.
Bonjour. I don't know,
Family
man.
bleeped up bleep.
That's what I meant to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
That's where I'm going.
edit in swears into Joe's bleeps.
No, you're gonna forget. We all know you
no,
won't
I'm not gonna
remember.
do that.
But yeah, I hope that there's like some friends that come in that are not crazy. Like the family's crazy, and then the friends are chill, and then they're helping the main character, and then the cat's alive. That's what I'm hoping for.
Hope
Turns
there's
out
a
to be
cat
alive.
and it's fully alive.
Totally alive, the most alive cat, and she's not sick. I will be very sad if Josh's prediction happens.
Why?
I just can't handle a show where someone gets sick. I can't.
So you don't like doctor shows?
I love me some Grey's Anatomy. I love
Are people sick on that show all the time?
people get their doctors fixing people.
Well,
It's not like a show about like I'm sick. Like I can't watch that stuff. Have you?
What?
Well,
I also disagree with that.
what show do I watch? What show do I watch where someone's
It's like
sick?
Munchausen month in our house.
Oh, that's right. But that's like forced sickness, not like you had no choice and your body's just gonna like
Josh,
throw
you know what
you.
Munchausen
No,
is?
can you go with? I mean,
We're having themed TV moments.
Munchausen or Munchausen by proxy is when you like try to keep someone sick. So Munchausen
You
syndrome
keep
or
yourself
whatever-
sick.
Yeah, is keeping yourself sick, but it's usually stories about Munchausen by proxy where it's like a mother keeping her child sick.
And by usually, we've watched one show and started a second.
What shows are about
And a
this
documentary.
Oh, we only watched half of it. It was too much.
It was too much. It's too sexy.
Well,
Too much.
I don't know about
Too-
that. It was gross.
stuff? Too much sweet sickness.
Yeah, Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what we're watching. Anyway, that's different because you're forcing someone to be sick. I don't mind watching that.
Okay.
When it's by the act of your human body functioning inappropriately and then your main character is sick and in the hospital, I don't want to see that.
I don't think she's gonna be in the hospital. I think she's gonna be walking around.
Getting treatment.
She's gonna be a walking cough. Just
Oh, yeah. What if it's like a Breaking Bad thing where she's got a terminal illness and
That's
then it's like
kinda
going
what
up to London to do something?
that's what I think. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't except minus she probably doesn't do meth or make meth.
Okay.
Make or do meth.
Do you think then that she dies in the last episode?
God, no, I don't. I don't because people want a season 3. But
There's got to be something that's like time, because if there's such a long break, there's got to be like something tying the two shows together.
oh, you mean maybe she just made a season 1 and then eventually she got enough money to
Yeah,
make a
I know.
season 3 too. Could just
You're
be
right.
that.
You're
Or
right.
she was just like, you know what? I need to look 3 years older, so I'm going to just wait 3 years, which would be kind of fun.
You guys know anything about Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
Nah.
She's the star and creator of this show, and I feel like it's like a familiar name, but I looked at her credits.
I looked at her face. I don't recognize that face. And I don't recognize the name. I didn't know the show existed.
Mm-hmm.
People like it, apparently. I'm interested to see what's in it.
Okay.
Should we just see what's in it?
Let's go see
Let's
it.
open up that Fleabag.
Because this is just 10 minutes of us going, I don't know.
We're just stalling until we can go eat our sandwiches.
Yeah,
that
we-
we already.
You're right there. You gonna die?
My tummy's grumbling
all right.
I'm coughing.
We gotta get this tummy hungry cough Claire fed while we watch the first episode of Fleabag. We'll be back after that. Hey everybody, welcome back to First and Last. We just watched the first episode of Fleabag. I'm pretty sure it's just called episode 1.
Episode 1. That must be how they do it in British TV, huh?
They don't have to pilot.
Lazier than us.
Because that's how they did it for episodes, right? They just
Yeah.
named every episode whatever number it was.
I thought that was just being clever because of the show name in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, maybe that's how they do it. I don't know. Watch more. Well, I thought they named the shows in extras, but they just named them like the people that were in it. Like Ben Stiller was in it, so they named the episode Ben Stiller.
Okay.
So that was just as much work as naming it episode 1, I suppose. I guess I won't count that. Should I do a write up?
Fleabag.
All right, episode 1. Fleabag recounts her day, starting with a one-night stand with a strange request. Starting with a one-night stand with a strange request and a bus pickup, to whom she explains how she split from her boyfriend, Harry. After being refused a bank loan, she meets and argues with her sister Claire at a feminist lecture before visiting her estranged father and godmother, whom he courted with indecent haste upon widowhood and is not Fleabag's favorite person. She helps a drunk woman who rejects Fleabag's sexual advances and pleasures herself in a taxi after the stranger on the bus fails to fulfill her promise.
What?
I didn't catch that she pleasured herself in the taxi.
I didn't either, yeah.
She just took it.
She pulled that sculpture out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hit my microphone.
Yeah, she stole, so I guess we'll go backwards.
Yeah.
Fleabag likes to steal.
Fleabag likes to like basically do sexy things with whoever is willing.
Mm-hmm.
And also she's low down. I think she just is kind of like she would like fit in well with the cast of like Always Sunny. You know, she's just kind of like a miscreant and doesn't have any morals and just kind of does whatever.
Okay, I have to pause on your like doesn't have any morals thing. I think that she
Has
might live
low
in it.
moral value.
Okay, no, I don't think that your sexual.
I didn't call that low moral.
Like, what do you mean by low morals? Like the stealing and shit?
What do you mean she stole?
She stole a
said
lot.
mean things to her like her
Whoa.
like sister and
Jimmy's hat is just fell on me. Like he doesn't like
the
what I'm
ghost of
saying.
Jimmy doesn't like it. No, I
Sorry.
I don't give a shit that she wants to like sleep with whoever. That has
Just
nothing to do with morals.
For some reason, the way you just stated that, my brain went right to
Oh,
being
no.
defensive. I apologize.
I am not saying that about it. I don't give a shit. She can do whatever she wants. That's
But yeah,
that's
the
just an adult
stealing-
thing.
The stealing part.
She stole apparently a tiny statue from her godmother, who her dad is now shagging. We can say shagging because we're watching
it's
a
also
British show.
stepmom.
Now a stepmom, step godmother, and she stole like $1,000 statue or something from her.
Mm-hmm.
She stole money from the guy with the bad teeth.
She stole money from that guy.
She had her sister's sweater on.
Yeah, and then she
Which-
tried to hide it. She actually gave it back, but that's just because she got caught, probably.
don't think
She
she's-
told the bank when she tried to get a bank loan, she was like, "I'm not trying to shag you. Look at yourself." Like she doesn't watch her mouth at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like she just says whatever is on her mind, no matter what is the
She
thing.
did just go through a really big trauma, which we didn't find out until the very end.
She did, but I don't
and
think
that's a
that
really screwed up thing that happened to her.
this is true. But it doesn't seem like that's the reason why she's acting
way
like
she
that.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just kind of self-centered. There's
Yeah.
that scene where she shows up outside her dad's house, and then she says, I have the quote here. She says, "I have a horrible feeling. I'm a greedy, perverted, selfish, apathetic, cynical, depraved, morally bankrupt woman who can't even call herself a feminist." So it seems like she's like self-aware about like her personal deficiencies.
So is it going to get better or worse?
I don't know.
I mean, it's at least interesting that she's morally depraved.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the biggest thing, like the core of that is she's just very self-centered and I feel like that tweaks your morals a little bit
Mhm.
of just like, I can just steal things because I need to get by, and it doesn't matter like how this affects anyone else.
Right. I mean, they did make a point. They showed like she owns a cafe.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get into the meat of the tragedy.
Yeah.
She owns a cafe, and apparently she owned a cafe with her best friend, who, God, what a story. Her best friend was apparently like dating some dude, or married. Was she married or dating?
I think just dating.
Okay, either way, she was going out with some dude, and they like broke up or something bad happened in that relationship. So she wanted to like make it look like she was almost dead, like are gonna die, or like in big physical trouble. So then he would like come to her side. So she walked into a like bike lane.
Yeah, I think it was a bike race, or was it just a bike lane?
I think it was just like a busy bike lane,
Okay,
kind of thing. And then Fleabag was like, and apparently bikes go really fast
yeah.
because like she like got hit by bikers and then bounced into like traffic.
Yeah.
And then she said 3 people died. Like
Yeah.
her friend ended up assuming like 2 other people.
Mm-hmm.
So don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't commit suicide, just in general.
I think she was saying that her friend caught her boyfriend with like another woman.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Fleabag was that other woman?
Ooh, now I'm into it. Now I need to switch some predictions.
I don't think so,
You don't
because I
think so?
think Fleabag was with her boyfriend Harry at the time.
Maybe that's why they broke up too.
No, why her and Harry broke up?
Yeah, maybe.
Did they
Harry
say
broke
why?
up with her because she was masturbating to Obama, which
Well,
I
no,
mean-
he said like I try to like stick through. I try to be with you through this hard time, but
Mhm.
like this isn't like doing it. So I think what that like Obama thing was like the
After the
straw
death?
that broke the camel's back
Mhm.
for him.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I said it when we were watching it or
Mhm.
whatever. But like, who cares? I don't know. Like if I woke up and my significant other was DJ diddling to like something, I'd be like, "What are you doing?" All right, cool. And it probably was like 3 a.m. I'd be like, "Fuck it, I'm going to." I don't care.
there had to have been like other strands in their relationship, but it was really bizarre that would be the thing that
I
he
mean-
would like pack up in the middle of the night for. Like,
hmm
it's not like she was, and it wasn't like she was watching anything weird. He was giving a speech, Obama.
It's kind of weird. I mean, it's kind of just that makes it weird though.
It's weird, but
Yeah.
it's like funny weird rather than like
Oh, it was
gross.
It wasn't like
weird.
gross. It wasn't like something perverted or bizarre or inappropriate or.
Mhm.
I don't know, wanking it to Obama's like State of the Union's kind of inappropriate. I mean, maybe not if you're British though.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe.
it's
Yeah.
different. I don't know. I thought that whole scene was funny, and I was like, why is this guy mad? Why I didn't
But
get
then
it.
she like said the last time they broke up, or he said like, "Don't come to my house in your underwear," like crying or something. So this is clearly not the first thing that he's been frustrated over.
Right.
Maybe
Mhm.
he just really wanted to sleep, and she's very active in her diddling. I don't know.
I mean, you're gonna rock the bed just doing that, you know. If you just sat in the bed and just like waved your hand back and forth, you're gonna rock the bed. Now imagine you're rocking your whole body with it.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, that's just physics.
Okay.
Um,
Maybe he just really needed sleep.
But so he broke up with her
Yeah.
over what seems to be a very long-term relationship.
He only had like 3 shirts there, and he lived there. Low on shirts.
Little one. Well, maybe he was a minimalist.
True.
You never know. I had a minute hard time immediately for she would like talk to the camera for a second and then like start talking to the other person that was sometimes not even on camera at the time. And for a hot minute, I was like, I can't quite tell if she's talking to us or them for like 1 or 2 of those times. I got used to it, I think, near the end.
Mhm.
And then it was a little bit hard for me to. They did flashbacks, quick flashbacks,
Mhm.
and I was like, did they just switch scenes,
When she
or
was
were they flashing back?
When she was
sometimes?
breaking the 4th wall like that, or whatever they want to call it, I felt like there's a
They call
ton
it
of it.
Deadpooling.
There was a ton of it at the beginning, and then it decreased over time. So like maybe you were used to it by the end, but you're also just there was less of it.
No, yeah, maybe.
because there was a lot less of it. At the beginning, it was like, boom, boom, boom. She's going to be talking to us. She's kind of setting
stuff up.
Yeah. And then by the end, there was less. But I do agree, like, for this only being 6 20-minute episodes or 30-minute episodes, it's a pretty, like, succinct chunk of time to, like, tell your story in. And, like, there's a lot of this back and forth that they're doing. I could see that. I don't know. Does it put you off? Does it make you not want to watch it?
No. I was fine with it. I just had to, like, get used to it. There's other shows that have done it. And I think, like, there was just, like, so many scenes in this episode for how short it was.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't that many characters in it, really. There's just so many scenes. It was like, where are we? And then once I found out, like, some of them were flashbacks, I was like, all right, I have to, like, wait till this is over
and then
to figure out where this actually fits in the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, no.
Was that all of the girl with the blonde? Is that the girl that died?
I don't know.
I guess maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows?
See, I didn't even, like, put that together yet.
I just did when you were explaining with the show. Oh,
yeah,
my.
Yeah, because then, I mean, unless she got a new best friend, right?
Mm-hmm. But it seemed like she was having wine with that girl at the cafe and then left the cafe and went to her dad's.
Yeah, but I think that could have been a flashback in the cafe.
Yeah, and so it could have been.
Because she, at that point, she's already shirtless, if that's the same day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she had a shirt on.
Yes, she had a shirt on in the cafe, so that was a different...
Oh, yeah, she was wearing that, like, flower dress, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
That means it was a different day.
Yeah.
Weird.
So that's a dead friend then, must be.
Must be dead friend.
I feel like I should get a point for that.
For cracking the code.
Look, I'm not on this pod all the time. I want the points. I'm kidding. Joe, how did you deal with the sex? Did it make you feel weird?
It was okay.
How did you deal with her gaping butthole?
Well, it was like, you know, it wasn't out of the way sex. It was like clearly part of her character and the storyline. So it wasn't like she was like trying to, you know, solve a riddle and then would go bone or something.
You talking about like the show Bones?
Yeah, her morally bankrupt sexual activity. Just kidding.
It's built in. Did she go on the date with the bus guy just to steal money from him?
I don't think so.
This guy had ridiculous teeth. If you ever watched the show.
Well, she was trying to leave with him at the end of their date, right? Like she was like, "So we like heading to your place?"
Yeah, no, she was just
he was like, "I gotta work."
And then she stole the money from him.
Right.
And then she got mad at him.
Right. She's trying to hook up.
Yeah, she was literally just like, "Yo, we can go to my place." And he's like, "I gotta work in the morning." He's like, "Fine, we'll go to your place." And he's like, "No." And she's like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" And it's kind of like, "Whoa, what the hell's going on?" Mm-hmm. That'd be a little bit surprising, I guess, if you met someone on a bus and then you were just at a cafe. They're like, "So we gotta go do this right now, or what?" I'm like, "Wait a minute, what are we? Do what?"
Like, wait, what? Have you seen my teeth?
Are you looking at my mouth?
Was this before like, Tinder was a thing?
No, this is.
She should be on Tinder.
This
she
was
can
in
find
2016.
all those people.
Well, I mean, I don't know when this story takes place.
True.
So, I mean, did they have smartphones? Did anyone?
I don't know.
Did anybody see their phones?
They got Tinder overseas? I don't even know, man.
Yeah, they don't even have Tinder in London.
It's called, I don't know any British like words.
Crumpets or something.
Yeah.
Crumpets. Oh, I swiped right on my crumpet before, and then we had the sexy.
Yeah, they actually swipe left. It's the opposite. It's confusing.
Oh.
Leads to a lot of.
That's why I never got
mistakes.
any matches when I was in London.
Just swiping left.
I was
on
swiping left on everyone.
Or swiping
right. Yeah.
I don't know.
She's
I don't know
hot.
anymore.
She's hot. She's hot. No one will hit me up.
Yeah.
Anyone else get like Mr. Bean vibes?
No. What? No.
You could get Mr. Bean vibes from like anything though, because you love Mr. Bean.
You're giving me some Mr. Bean vibes right now.
I love it.
No, because I got spots on my shirt. Guys, oil stains are the worst. Am I right?
Claire decided to eat some of her food off her shirt while we were watching the show.
No, I dribbled a little.
Can you?
Drizzled.
Where did you get a Mr. Bean vibe? Do you have like a?
Just that, like, again, she like is morally fluid and is only looking out for herself, and that's a lot of what Mr. Bean's hijinks is. He's like trying to do something he's not supposed to, but just trying to like get away with it.
If it was like more Mr. Bean, I would imagine when she stole the dollar or the money from the guy in the cafe, like that would be like a 5-minute scene in Mr. Bean of him like trying to take it out, money. And then eventually like it'd fall on the ground and the person would pick it up and be like, oh, I found it. And like
the thing with like Mr. Bean and I think also Fleabag is that they're not necessarily like, he's not necessarily a bad person. He's not like evil and trying to hurt people. He's just like has a low regard for like.
So they have mental health issues, is what you're trying to say.
Mr. Bean is just mischievous.
Yeah. I think Mr. Bean might have some sort of something, like he could be diagnosed with something, that character.
Low empathy towards others.
Yeah, it's leading me to one thing, but I can't diagnose, so I'm not going to.
He also doesn't talk.
Yeah, it really leads me to like one specific disability category, but we don't need to diagnose people here.
It's just a normal dude being funny. He doesn't have anything. It's just he is like not quite a mime, you know, but.
I wrote weird taxi moment down. Were there 2 weird taxi moments? Oh, I guess she was in the taxi. She was in 2 taxis. Okay,
well,
never mind.
The first taxi was when she's putting the drunk girl in the taxi, right?
Yeah, and she groped her to like help her get her
She
shirt
definitely
up.
put that boob back in the shirt in a weird way.
Yeah, she cupped the boob.
Yeah, she grabbed the whole boob and then like lifted the shirt and then like dipped it into the shirt.
It's not how you pull up a shirt.
Probably inappropriate.
That's how I put my shirt on every day. One boob at a time.
I'm sorry.
You put your shirt on over your head and then you dip your boobs under the collar and then you dip your boobs back up on top.
Yeah.
Well, TMI, but like sometimes with some bras, you really got to do that. You got to like get the lean in. You got to shake them in. Yeah, you got to do that. You got to cup it. You got to push it up, push it around. That's what happens.
How drunk on the side of the road do you have to be before someone else will do it for you?
Even if I was drunk on the side of the road and someone groped my boob like that, I'd be like, stop fucking helping me. Like I would have been like how she was. So, well, she wasn't like that till later, but she was trying to go home.
Right away, I thought she was like, "Do you want to come to my flat?" And right away, I was like, "Oh, she's like trying to be like nice to this girl. Like you're too drunk to like go anywhere."
Yeah.
And then she was like, "No," and I was like, "Oh, she was trying to bang that girl."
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow."
I'm glad I'm not the only one that did that. It took me a minute to be like, "Why is she so mad?"
Yeah.
But I also think I was distracted because I was so focused on like that is such a weird way to pull up a shirt. She like groped her boob,
it's
and
like
then
2 minutes later too in the show, can't get over this shirt grab, this boob tuck. We probably talked about like every scene in this show.
Yeah,
we did it.
I mean, it was. I feel like this pod might be longer than the actual show. So.
Maybe. All in all, I thought it was a good first episode. Definitely understand that character, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely an intriguing character.
Mm-hmm. And her name is actually Fleabag.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we find out her real name in the last episode.
That's literally the prediction I told you that you couldn't steal from me.
Oh, I didn't steal it, and I forgot you said that. How about we start with your predictions, Claire?
Yeah, number 1, they will say her real name in the final episode.
Oh, you said say her name, and then I looked it up, and I was like, her name's Fleabag, and that's why I forgot about it. But I get it.
I said that her shop will be closed.
Do we know what it's called?
Her shop will be closed?
The shop. The cafe.
No, I don't know.
I was really... that was a tough one to decide on. I wasn't sure if there's like the shop was going to be successful, but I went with closed.
I'm curious where you're going with this because you have been talking big talk about how you think this show is going to do like a big old like change Rooney and not be the same show.
I still do think that I think because it's a BBC show, there's 3-year gap. I think that there's going to be like a completely different storyline. But I could be wrong.
Did you make any predictions along that line?
No. But I said that, because I don't know, how do you write a prediction on that? Like, everything's different. Like, no. She's in Germany. No.
Yeah, you just decide that she's a pilot now for the Luftwaffe.
So because things are stolen regularly, I said a gem will be stolen.
You think there's like you think there's a heist?
I don't know. I feel like that's like a very British
She becomes a bank robber?
Yeah.
I like it.
Like,
British
I'm going to
Catwoman?
steal this ring
like
or this
11.
necklace.
Hello.
Anything with a gem on it. Not just like a rough gem. Like she's not getting
loose stone.
It doesn't. Yeah, it can just be like a necklace, something with a gem. There's
The
a gem.
queen's jade earrings are missing.
It's Fleabag. And then, okay, this is my or one that you guys told me you decide on. But I said that the dad is single or dead. So you guys get to decide.
Technically, you are single when you're dead because death does you part.
Mhm.
But he could also just be single
Okay.
and alive. Can I get my or?
I don't care. I think he's gonna be alive and like together with someone. So I think either way, you're getting no points.
Okay. Well, I like that prediction.
I'm-
What do you got?
I had that the dad was dead. I wrote that, and then I crossed it out.
Whoa.
And I replaced it with the sister sink poop stories brought back up.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I was almost going to say that she got fat because they made a really big point of her being anorexic.
I mean, she just looked like a regular skinny person. She didn't look.
I felt like Fleabag
Yeah,
looked
Fleabag
even
was also a
skinnier
skinny
Fleabag was
person.
skinnier than her.
I was
Yeah.
like, maybe you're anorexic and you own a cafe.
Okay, so my first one is the sister sink poop stories brought back up.
I hope so.
I think 3 people are offered sexy times.
Okay. That's about as many were in this
And
episode.
I'm gonna just go out and say if they're doing the sexy times, that counts as an offering.
Okay.
Okay.
Someone had to be offered that, and we saw
3
it.
different people.
Yeah.
So look, if it starts out with a sex scene, that's already 2 down.
No, well, if it's 2 people, it's like that would be 1.
Okay.
Not like they offered each other sexy times and did it, and that counts
Okay.
as 2.
Okay.
I want 3 like essentially different sexy moments.
Sure.
But do it be different people every time?
I would say, like, so in this first episode, when she was like, "Are we going back to my place?" to the guy in the cafe, that would be 1. If she tried to make that drunk girl bring back, that was 2.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning.
the beginning when she banged that dude, that
Mhm.
was 3.
Yeah.
There's probably a couple other ones in this episode that I thought of that were there. So I think that three instances of that is happening.
Okay.
She's a nun now.
I think
I don't know.
number
Nun.
1, Fleabag is a nun. I wrote that down. That is written down.
I thought you were just mad at her for saying that.
Can you confirm that I wrote that down?
Fleabag is a nun.
Fleabag is a nun. I wrote that down.
You made this face that I thought you were just like mad at her interrupting or something.
No, it was amazing.
Well, good
I don't
timing.
think her being a nun is gonna change her being that kind of person.
Being a Fleabag.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
still Fleabag.
But she's a nun.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said that the show was gonna take a drastic change, so I guessed a drastic change.
You're smarter than me.
And then my 4th one is there is a funeral,
Okay.
which is the opposite of a wedding, which I want this show. This show's gonna do a trope, but it's the opposite of the regular trope.
Okay.
What funeral? Those are my 4.
Speaking of funerals, I have Fleabag dies.
Ooh.
Whoa.
I hope she gets properly
then the
buried.
show would definitely not be able to have a season 3.
Well, that's people are asking for it. Zombie Fleabag. I think someone has a cup of tea because it's in London.
Governor?
The stolen statue that she took at the end there, that's like a woman's bust, is seen within the last 2 minutes of the show.
God, I hope we see it right away.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like
that specific?
yeah, I was gonna say it was like the last shot. But I don't think it's made, just to kind of save myself, like it's within like the last scene, the last 2 minutes.
We'll have to get like a timer going.
Yeah. And then I have someone speaks with an American accent.
Oh,
Ooh.
so normal.
Yeah, someone speaks normal English.
Hey there, Fleabag. I would like a hamburger, please.
So did you pick any predictions for any of the characters or no?
No, I don't even know the characters.
That's true.
I even barely know Fleabag. She's dead though.
I mean, we definitely had to look up and make sure that what is her name? Because we never heard it. She's like Edward Norton in Fight Club. She doesn't have a name for real. And we'll never hear it. Not in the last episode. Not ever.
They will say her name.
All right, well, let's get into it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see after the finale. We think
It's the finale.
of Fleabag. All right, we'll see after that. And And we're back. We're done with the finale of Fleabag.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Initial thoughts before I get into this thing? This write-up?
Well, it was interesting. I feel like it would hit a lot more if I had seen the rest of the show.
Maybe. I liked it in general. I don't think like Claire liked it. Didn't seem like you liked it.
It was fine. I was neutral.
Pretty sure Joe at one point said, "Are you bored?" And you said, "Yeah, kinda."
Well, there was a part that I got a little bored in.
And it was right after. Oh, we'll get into it. But right after that, it was right after a part that I thought was like the best part of the episode. Okay, the write-up is the day of grandmother. The day of godmother and dad's wedding has arrived, and Fleabag has decided to give them an all too familiar gift. Claire finally tells Martin that she doesn't love him following a revelation about her miscarriage, while Martin has a few home truths of his own. What's a home truth? Fleabag persuades Claire to go after the man she really loves. Fleabag and the priest finally admit their love for one another.
What's that other guy's name?
Who? What other guy?
Claire's other guy. I just want to know.
Oh, that.
I'm gonna Google that.
No,
later. I don't know.
Maybe we never see him. This would be the kind of show that they just like talk about it and they never mention him. They literally call their dad, and they call godmother godmother.
I did find that to be really funny at the end of in this episode when godmother was introducing people and she gets to the dad and is like, I would just call you darling.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that was cute. That was funny.
It was good. I liked it. When you said so, it seems Fleabag is sexing it up or making out at least with a Catholic priest.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good for her. Probably healthy relationship.
Are we sure he's Catholic? I don't know.
I mean, how many other priests have like the black suit and the white collar?
Don't they call that? What's the other big church? The Church of England? Don't they still have like priests? I'll Google it right now.
Google it right now. But I feel like the point of that whole thing was that he was choosing
God
the
over
church,
her.
yeah, and celibacy over her.
But they still love each other.
Yeah.
She was like, "I love you" at the very end, and he was like, "It'll pass."
Dude, Church of England, full on priests.
Full on priests.
Related jobs: bishop, priest in charge. It's a vicar is the title given to certain parish priests. Yeah, that's priests.
What? They didn't call him vicar.
No, but
They called him father.
true. I don't know if they go by father though. It doesn't say they go by father, so that doesn't lean more Catholic. You guys are right. Catholic priest
In
choosing.
the end, it doesn't matter what he was. He was a priest.
He's a holy guy that can't marry.
Yeah, he's a holy guy that can't get involved, and he chose
God.
his conviction, I guess, over his newfound love.
Mm-hmm.
Though at the beginning of the episode, it's him in bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it must have been.
And she's going to him. I can't believe you did that at the wedding.
Did she say at the wedding?
I don't think she said at the
she
wedding.
did not say at the wedding. She just said, "I can't believe you did that."
Yeah.
You filled in the wedding because you wanted it to be after the wedding.
Maybe my head is just stuck that.
Yeah, because I don't know when it was. So I mean, yeah, maybe they they shared some carnal knowledge, and then they went to the wedding, and then he was like, I should be a better priest.
Mm-hmm.
And by that I mean not bang chicks, because I'm not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
But his sermon about love was pretty great. I was like, I would go to a church service where some dude talked like this.
What was the gist of the love sermon?
I mean, he was just like, love is shitty. This like love fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, he started off by saying, "Fuck."
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
But that's like a lesser curse in Britain, though, right?
Oh yeah, that's just the word "the" there.
They say fuck all the time.
Yeah, I mean, in event he just basically said love really sucks, and that's why you do it. That's why you don't do it alone.
Yeah, that's why you do it with other people, so it sucks less.
And then when you find someone that you love, it feels like hope because it's so hard or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually like in actual all encompassing a really good like message.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a very entertaining way that he did it. So
Yeah.
it was like, I could listen to these.
Yeah.
priestisms from that guy.
I feel like that was a pretty good priest. Like, I'd be down to earth with that guy. I mean, I'd probably go confess my sins. He would understand me.
I mean, it doesn't matter if he understands you. It's if God does.
No, but you need your priest to be able to then convey God's truth, quote unquote, to you in his way.
Is that why you confess to a priest?
Well, that and because you're going to go to hell if you don't. So
Yeah, but why can't you confess like directly to God?
Because you gotta
and
like.
you have to go through. No.
No one knows.
No, it's a sacrament, reconciliation, where you go confess your sins to the priest. The priest then kind of goes back and forth with you discussing them, and then gives you a penance.
Yeah.
So you have to atone for your sins by doing said penance, but
And then
you don't have to say all of your sins out loud.
Yeah.
And all of your sins get forgiven. So you can just like pick a couple off the top to say, and then keep the deep ones.
and you still get resolved for all of them.
Yeah.
Cool. And then after that, do you switch? Does he speak on his sins then?
No.
Priest-
You go say
priests
you're like
don't sin.
they'll literally be like, you need to go say 5 Hail Marys and 1 Rosary or something like that. Be like, say 5 Hail Marys and an Our Father, and your sins will be forgiven.
Cool. He's like write a prescription.
Kind of. It feels like a prescription when you're there and you're like, do you say this to everybody? It's like I don't know. I always had go-tos when I was a kid because you'd have to do this during school. We have to go to reconciliation.
Sounds awful.
You got out of religion class that day, so it was fine.
Got to go sit in a weird box, talk to some dude in the other box. Did you go in the box?
We had boxes at some of the churches I was at. The one I was just like pondering about was in high school. They would change our auditorium, and they'd bring in a bunch of priests that day, and then they would kind of have them scattered throughout the auditorium, and you'd like go and talk to them, and then you'd go back to your seat. It was weird. Like all the religion classes would go to time all day. I don't know, man.
Just so you
It's
can get
weird.
through the kids faster.
I guess so.
You
A
just
lot
shout
of
them
kids.
out at the same time.
There's a
You're just
lot
like,
of sins.
I cheated on my test.
No, you gotta go. You walk up quietly.
I was kissing a priest.
It's a one-on-one experience. Like your first reconciliation
Was
as a
one-on-one.
kid is also like
You,
in front of everybody.
priest, and God.
And God, it's one-on-one.
One-on-one.
All the ones.
Well, technically, it's like one-on-one on 3, right? Because God's like 50
3 and
different
1?
people.
No, so I don't think it's 3. I think it's one-on-one.
So they're all there. They're all
Yeah,
there.
they're all
The
there.
ghost, Jesus, God.
They're all
Well-
there. They still count as one.
But the message of this show was like, I thought the dad had done his whole like, I don't understand how his foot was stuck in anything. I don't know what he's doing up there. Maybe a previous episode would have told us. He was in the attic.
He's just an old man. Everything's hard. He's an old man.
Okay. But he tells Fleabag something to the effect of like, oh, I forget. I didn't write this one down. But it was like, you love harder than anybody else. Do you guys remember this? It was like, oh, because you're so good at love. Or you're so open, and then that's why you always get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And then the priest does this whole like, I actually love God thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets hurt. So it was just like watching her.
And then
like,
she gets hurt. You said.
yeah, it's like watching her be open to love and then getting hurt, which sounds like it might be like the theme of this show.
Right. And that's the, the very last scene is her essentially breaking up with his priest, and then she's left at the bus station by herself. She pulls out the statue.
That she had just given back to Godmother in the
Yeah.
beginning of the episode as a gift.
Joe just
Yeah.
wants to point out that he.
I got that.
It was a different statue though, so I'm just saying.
So yeah, she pulls out the statue, and then she kind of looks at it, and then she walks away, and like the camera kind of follows, but she tells it to stop, and then like kind of like waves to the audience and leaves. What do you think that is supposed to mean?
Bye, the show's over.
Like, all right, we're done here.
I mean, I took it as like, it's kind of like, cool, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Bye.
feel like there's definitely like phases in people's lives where they're doing everything for a camera, for an audience, for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a certain stage where you kind of stop doing that and you start doing things just for, like, I don't think everybody goes through the stage, but a lot of women do. Like, if you think about like Instagram or Snapchat or all those, like, I'm going to take a selfie of me, or I'm going to have people like watch everything I do to get validated for it. But then there's a certain point where I feel like everybody I know is like dropped off from doing that, because it's almost like yeah, I don't need this validation anymore, and I'm gonna be okay on my own.
Yeah, that's kind of a good relation or a good way to explain that. So you think that she is leaving this because she's done. She doesn't need this validation anymore because this relationship's over.
Well, I think that she's realized what she wants with this last guy that she can't have.
Uh-huh.
And then she's going to figure out that, and hopefully she has the tools now after mourning her friend's death and dealing with all this other shit in her life that she's able to be successful. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's hope to goodness.
I was reading this review that was suggesting that because she had this relationship with the priest and was dumped by him, that she's been able to, like, I can't breathe, sorry. That she's been able to, like, deal with her grief, and now she knows that she can love and lose and still be okay. And so that's why she doesn't need to, like, have this, like, fourth wall breaking, like, moment anymore. She could just deal with it on her own.
Sure. Sounds like this would be a really fun period of time in someone's life to watch, though, because it tends to be when they're drinking a lot and making really dumb choices and hooking up with a lot of people. So I feel like this show's probably pretty funny.
And stealing stuff.
So much stealing.
She just knows she's gonna be okay as long as she has that statue by her side.
Well, it's her mom.
Well, she just found that out. She didn't know that. I mean, she.
Well, then that makes me feel better that she stole it back. Although if she was pleasuring herself to it at the beginning,
She wasn't. She like hid it in her pants. She wasn't pleasuring herself with
Well,
it.
that review that you read said that.
We read a lot of things, and people write what they say happens, and it's maybe she does it later because that happens a lot where they're like, and Bobby like had just recently broken up with Sue, and you're like, how the fuck will we know that? And then you watch like episode 2, and you're like, oh, they told us now. Like, so maybe she does later.
I don't know.
Or something like that, but. I did not get out of any of the scenes in the first episode. That was a scene where I didn't think she was like gunning for sex, you know. So that was that. Yeah, there wasn't really any. It was just a wedding. It was a wedding.
We should have guessed wedding.
Always a wedding.
Always these things end in a wedding.
We gotta put a rule in. There's just no wedding guesses anymore. No one's allowed to guess wedding.
Or like everybody gets a point when there's that wouldn't help with the points.
Yeah, well then it's 0. even if you're not here, Claire, everybody gets a wedding. Everyone that's ever been on the thing, just leave it on the ground and keep dropping the hat on the ground.
Jimmy, I keep dropping your hat. Stop saving the whales.
Come get your hat.
Come get your hat.
And we're gonna give it to the whales.
No.
I'm gonna throw it in. I'm gonna buy a ticket.
How big a whale is? Like that wouldn't even be funny. It's so little.
It would be funny.
A little whale wearing a hat.
If you put a baseball cap on a whale, that'd be hilarious.
I'm gonna draw you a picture of a whale with a baseball hat.
Shamu wearing a little baseball cap.
Oh, poor Shamu.
Shamu's still alive?
I'm sure Shamu 2 is, or
oh yeah, there's
Shamu 2. Sham 2.
I don't know, man. I thought they weren't allowed to have them in clothes like they used to.
Well, they don't.
Yeah,
they're not like catching any new ones.
I watched that documentary.
But they can't just They just can't let it go. It'll die.
Oh yeah.
You mean Free Willy? I saw it too.
No, what was that?
Starring Michael Jackson?
Blackfin or something?
Blackish.
The Black Pearl?
No.
You talking about Pirates of the Caribbean?
No, the one about the whales. Okay, whatever. To be continued. If
We'll
anyone
ask
knows,
Jimmy when he gets back. He knows all about the whales.
MTV's Catfished? What are you talking about?
I love that
Catfish.
show. I hope that Fleabag gets catfished at some point in time in the show.
boy.
I think that'd be really funny.
I could see her catfishing somebody.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know.
They don't really bring out phones that often, so it'd be rough.
Were they on phones again this episode at all?
I kept
No.
looking for a phone, and then they ended up being a cigarette pack. Like I was like, "Is that
Oh.
a phone?" Oh no, cigarettes.
That's one of those things I think when I watched like cell phones essentially are how I try to figure out what era that's supposed to, like, if it's not like obvious right away, then I always try to look and see, are they on phones?
Mm-hmm.
So like I was watching I think like Sabrina, the new Sabrina that's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I've like watched 2 seasons and I don't think I know what time it's supposed to be because I don't think they're ever on phones ever. Like it's like
So it's kind of set in a ambiguous time period. Like, it could be the 80s, it could be the 2000s.
Yeah, well, it's because like you see like a car and it seems like an olden car, except they're also like kind of live in like a mildly rural area. So it's kind of like, oh, does some farmer just have an old car? Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And also they could just be having new cars and whatever. Back to the show.
And we're back.
I want to watch this show, I think.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
It's short.
Yeah.
It's only like 15 episodes or something like that. So I'm into this. I think I might watch some more.
There's a lot of there was a lot of like good speeches in this character in this show, like done by different characters.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a show where like there's a really good writer, and therefore like everybody in the show is like smart and has insightful things to say.
Right. Like if you pay attention, you could probably like learn something about yourself while watching the show.
Yeah. But like the dad had a speech, the priest had a speech.
I thought it was really funny when Claire's husband, what's his name, Milton?
Martin. I think it's
Martin.
Martin.
It was like talking about how like some people are just born with fucked up personalities. Like, look at this kid, and he's like the elbow.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man.
I want to know who that kid is, because for a while I'm like, is that their kid?
Is it
thought
Claire's
so too.
kid?
I wasn't sure.
But he seems like, I feel like they've been married for like 11. I think he said like 11 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That kid's older than 11.
And that kid's definitely older than 11.
Uh-huh.
But he's probably only like 16.
But then that guy, when he was like trying to get her to not dump him, he was like, look at all the things I do. I like organize brunch and I pick up Davy, and which to me makes it sound like it's not his responsibility. I don't know.
Well, he was like, I make you laugh, and you said that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You know? He's like, I do the thing that you think is the most important. And he's like, you don't like me. I get it, but I think you love me, and I think you hate that. His rant when they were in the kitchen at her was like, this is like, he's doing great. Not like as a human or whatever, but it was just like a really good scene.
Yeah, it's he like it was definitely right for her to like break up with him or ask him to leave.
Yeah.
But like he did not tell any lies in like his speech.
Yeah.
Like it was just like raw like like relatable situations, and you're like, this is like a real dude, and like he's clearly not the right person for now, but like you kind of get where he's coming from.
He's like, he completely understands the situation,
but
he's still like, but come on. Yeah, it was good. I liked a lot of good, his like thing, his spiel, and then the priest, like those were both like really good, like rants almost. And then like the little attic time with daughter and dad, with Fleabag and dad. That was good too. Should we get into predictions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
Want me to do mine?
Yeah.
They will say her name. No.
Her name's
Shop.
Fleabag.
The shop will be closed. We have no idea. A gem will be stolen unless there's gems in that like bust.
Those nipples are gems on that bust.
And as somebody else predicted, I'm incredibly wrong. Dad is not single or dead. Dad is getting married and alive.
Yep.
So
Negative
0
points.
point.
Negative.
I didn't want any negatives.
Joe?
I had Fleabag dies, which she seems fine.
Her heart died.
Yeah. I said someone has a cup of tea. There was no cup of tea, but someone said, like, I know that's not your cup of tea or something like that.
Yeah, and that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Someone just says a saying.
Well, like, as we're watching the show, Joe's like, hey, they talked about tea.
Hey,
they
cup of
talked
tea.
about tea.
I mean, you gotta get that hustle. You gotta hustle, you know?
I do agree.
Hustle and flow. I said the stolen statue is seen within the last 2 minutes, and
It
the
totally was.
The very last scene, she pulls out the statue again, and that was in like there's a minute and a half left.
You saw the first 2 minutes and the last 2 minutes of the show.
It was great, and it was a very even in these 2 episodes that we saw, I was like, that's so Fleabag.
Oh, Fleabag. And then I said someone speaks with an American accent, which Claire's husband Martin does.
So you
that's
got
a point.
a twofer, huh?
2 points.
All right.
You've been doing well the last couple weeks, man.
I don't think I got anything. Fleabag is a nun.
No, well, oh.
Well, she's not a nun, but she is involved in the church, if you know what I mean.
I like that.
So no points. The sister sink poop story is brought up. It unfortunately was not.
Wish it was.
3 people are offered sexy times.
Nope.
She kissed the guy in like the back of the house, and that was like the closest I would have gotten. If there was 2 other ones, I would have fought for it, but it was clearly not. And I thought this show was at least going to do something different than every other show in the entire world ever, and not have a wedding and be a funeral. And Fleabag let me down.
Sorry,
because there was a wedding. So, a 0. Call me sweetie because I got a big old donut.
Is that a thing people say?
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that
Okay,
before.
just checking.
Call me sweetie because I got a big old donut.
Yeah. Wow, does that sound inappropriate? But
Well, why don't you get your mind out of the gutter?
it's very much so. Anyways,
Hey, if you want to hit us up and do a show suggestion, compliment Joe.
yeah, always compliment Joe. He's got the
Ask
best hair.
Claire about her sins. You can hit us up
No.
at First and F&L Podcast on the Gmail or on the Twitter. That's
Yeah.
really it.
Or
can-
like iTunes comments. We'll read those eventually.
Yeah, we will read those, all of them. Yeah, you can rate us any multitude of stars. There is a rating system. If you guys haven't heard on iTunes, I believe maybe other places too. You say 1 star, 2, 5, and every time you just click the 5 one, and then you say, "Oh, good job, guys."
Okay, I have this debate though. I think it should be at 10 stars, not 5. Yeah, what do you think, Josh? Joe thinks I'm dumb.
What's the difference?
There's not really a difference, but you just visually can see it much better. So it's like 4.5 stars. They give you like 5 stars.
Well, it's 4.5 stars. That would be 9 out of 10.
Yeah, and I want to see the 9 out of 10.
So you have to like count 9 stars.
It doesn't take
is
me
it
that long
easy
to
to-
count.
It's definitely easier to count 4.5 than it is to count 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you guys are listening to the pod, you should rate us 5 stars. So you don't have to deal with a decimal point.
Why don't we go with out of 20 stars?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Okay.
18 out of 20.
Just sure.
If we were 4.5 out of 5,
Yeah.
18 out of 20.
I like that you're like making equivalent fractions though. Like
I mean, I can times things by 2 twice.
I should totally make this a lesson plan. This is a good idea.
How many
ratings.
stars? And then make all your students rate the podcast.
Yeah, I'll have them all come in at first and last.
Yeah.
No, I don't tell them about this.
Don't tell them you're on it. Just go like, oh, let's pick a random one. This one, first and last.
We're gonna learn how to rate things in iTunes. They already know how to do
You'll
that.
learn how to like and subscribe.
They know how to like and subscribe, but I don't know if they give stars. I don't know.
Not sure.
I'll have to ask them later.
Well, guys, this was episode 99, which means next week
99.
is episode 100.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be a lot of party things happening.
It's our centennial.
There's going to be streamers, pictures on the wall, a lot of visual things for this audio podcast.
$100 bills.
$100 bills everywhere. We're going to be sitting in ankle-deep $100 bills.
It's all that Blue Apron money.
What? You getting Blue Apron money?
I'm just holding out a Blue Apron
Dang
money.
it.
Yeah, right. He rated my like classroom fake dollars, so that's what you guys got.
Hey, as long as it looks like I'm balling, I feel like I'm balling.
There you go.
That's all I need. But stay tuned for that. Get excited. Get hype. We're going to watch some show that I'm positive we're all going to love.
It's Frasier again.
Just Frasier Revisited. That's not what it is. But we'll see you next week on another First and Last. Bye.
Bye.
You have to say goodbye on the 100th episode.
Stay
Joe.
fresh, cheese bags.
Oh man.
Flea bags.
Fleabag.
Oh.
Got him.